For thousands of years, there was no particular technological progress on Earth. I saw that the Creator intends to change that. He inspired many people to discover new information about the universe, nature, chemistry, biology, physics, and other scientific areas. However, there isn't anything that the Creator can use, which I couldn't misuse. Along with the discovery of truth about the one who created all of this and the one who will judge the world, I had to introduce an opposite doctrine that would cast shadow on what the Creator wanted to tell the world. Throughout the Bible, people were taught to worship the one who created heavens and earth. As human knowledge and different sciences progressed, I wanted to use that fact completely, and I came up with a theory that would seduce all those who consider themselves wise and educated through strong pseudo-arguments. That was particularly important because that part of the society had the greatest influence on the development of civilization. I used a young medicine and theology student through whom I managed to lay the foundation of modern theory of evolution. Due to the prejudices the people had towards the church for what it has done in the Middle Age, a lot of them lost their faith, equating the Creator with the church. That was just what I wanted. In such circumstances, it wasn't too hard to give the world a new theory. A better theory of the origin of the world that teaches that there is no Creator. I fired up the imagination of people who started exploring this theory, my theory, knowing the stupidity and frivolity of human mind. I didn't have to bother much about the clear flaws of such a theory. It was important to give the basis that opposes those who claim that the Creator created everything through His Word. Suddenly, people started believing that everything was created by accident, that they do not have to answer to anyone, as the only purpose of their life is to please themselves, and that it doesn't matter what they do, because after all, they are going to die after all. Everything is a normal, uncontrolled cycle. And while being overwhelmed by hopelessness on one hand, on the other hand, they were seduced by the sense of freedom. I had to give a starting point to the theory of evolution, so I've once again relied on human stupidity and came up with the Big Bang Theory. And so, you now believe that something exploded somewhere, and from that uncontrolled explosion, during billions and billions of years, something thickened due to certain natural forces, thus creating the planets. And then again, after millions and millions of years, the conditions to create life suddenly appeared, and He appeared out of nothing. I'm especially proud of this because human stupidity seems infinite at this moment, considering that this theory is accepted by the most educated people. Hence, man believed that something so complex and inexplicable, something that no man, not even I, can create under any conditions, appeared by accident. As the new fossils were being found, I continued to upgrade my theory to make it more believable. I wanted to humiliate the Creator and man even more by suggesting that humans, roughly speaking, descended from apes. The apparent similarity between man and apes is not the result of some imaginary process, but rather of his degradation. That is the only thing that can be accomplished by mutations caused by various life conditions and habits. Decay, not progress and development. Can you believe that something that hollow, like the theory of evolution, can still be believed up to this day? The secret of the survival of such a theory isn't its irrefutability. It doesn't have that much power by itself. Its power lies in the human desire for freedom, which I constantly nourish. Man doesn't want to answer to anyone for what he does. For this reason, he'll accept even the craziest theories. As new evidence for the creation appeared, I had to come up with new theories and explanations in various areas. That's why I, for instance, attribute the disappearance of the dinosaurs, most of them died in the flood, to a fall of an asteroid and ice age, a natural and accidental disaster. And the truth is that many of them were saved with Noah in the ark, and lived for a long time among humans, until they, due to deteriorating conditions on Earth, were extinct. Hence, in each culture, no matter what part of the globe, there are legends about dragons. Fortunately, only few people links this to dinosaurs. I explained the discovery of fossil remains of animals in polar regions with my theory of the divisions of continents during millions of years, while I presented the theory of antediluvian water layer around the planet as so unbelievable that no one could consider true. And that's exactly what happened. Due to the influence of the water layer, due to the greenhouse effect, the planet had uniform climate, suitable for the abundant life of many different species, hence the life in Antarctica. There are many similar examples which I explained in my own way, although the theory itself is pretty hollow and connected by assumptions rather than evidence, and even though many faithful people and creation supporters pointed to many gaps and inconsistencies, the apparent proofs had much greater impact on people. And while I inspired scientists to present new unproven theories, I also encouraged people to observe faith as something that limits their endless freedom. I set up a big prejudice by introducing the theory of evolution. New information must be placed into already accepted theory. If that's not possible, that finding is rejected, because people deeply believe that the only acceptable explanation for the origin of everything on Earth is evolution through natural selection. That way, many evidences that support creation are forgotten and cast aside. Only those that can be incorporated into existing theory of evolution are acceptable. My greatest success with the theory of evolution is that I was able to convince those who claim they believe in the Creator to declare the first 11 chapters of Bible as fictitious. But that's also a part of my plan. I even convinced them that the Creator started evolution. If I can manage to devalue the name of the Creator in religious circles, the image of the Creator would be forever degraded. Never again would the people be able to connect with the Creator in the way He intended, because they would have completely wrong idea what He really wants. The theory of evolution opened the doors for many other delusions. It made the Creator's existence become unnecessary. Without the Creator, there are no moral principles that He gave. The scriptures He wrote through His people no longer have any purpose. The people are turning to themselves, turning to me. I was able to convince man to reject everything he cannot understand with his miserable mind. Today, the greatest scientist will claim that there is no Creator, even though they are aware of how little the man truly knows about the nature and universe. Man can only see a small part of color spectrum, not to mention sound spectrum and radiation, or large areas and atomic particles. The reason for that is the degradation of mankind and separation from the Creator due their sin. But I guess scientists know, and they know a lot that can be known from your ant perspective. And believe me, that is very little. The Creator was once again losing the battle for man. More and more people were supporting the theory of evolution, thus directly rejecting the Creator. My plan was perfect. I introduced an incorrect theory and used various branches of science to support it. The theory wasn't and never will be science, but the tinges of real science make this fabrication seem true. Something that can be proven, but at the same time, can't be. Perfect, isn't it? Do you still think that you're smart as that you decide by yourself what to do and believe? Are you a part of this group of people who I successfully separated from the Creator? You are, aren't you? No? Don't worry. You'll soon realize that you were seduced by some of hundreds misconceptions I spread across the planet. You too are my victim, only you don't realize it just yet. But you will. Will you be able to return to the Creator? Of course you won't. Not because he doesn't want to, but because I'm going to make sure that you don't want that.